Today on Fresh Finish, we're hanging out with Vaughn Gittin Jr. and the RTR Mustang team. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah,
really
man.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man, it's a good event.
Absolutely. Awesome turnout. Huge crowd here. Like a small question I have for you. Where are you from? I actually don't know the answer to that.
I'm from Maryland originally.
Okay.
I grew up in like Annapolis, Edgewater area.
Okay.
And now I'm in Concord, North Carolina.
North Carolina, perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We're in Roanoke, so we're not too far from you here.
Okay.
So, wanted to ask you kind of a two-part question. You getting into the RTR world, and on the flip side of that, if someone wanted to drift their dream, so to speak, and work their way into an RTR Mustang seat, like if you could talk about how you got into the RTR scene, and then
Sure.
someone who wants to actually get into it.
Sure. Well, RTR is my company.
Okay, perfect.
So I started RTR in 2009 of a vision of creating a new generation of Mustang and Mustang owner. And that's kind of spiraled into Bronco, F-150, Ranger, and a lot of vehicles that we build, turnkey vehicles and products, but solely focused on Ford. It's a passion of mine. So as far as drifting, I just fell in love with the sport. I've always loved cars my whole life, and started to go into some organized drift events in the early 2000s and fell in love with the culture, and basically just never looked back. I quit my job in 2007. I was a computer nerd in IT, and I blew all my money on my cars and just living. And so, the sport was growing very fast. I made a name for myself very early, and I just decided to chase the dream. And here we are, almost 20 years later, and it's grown beyond what I ever imagined, with us having multiple driver motorsport programs in drifting and multiple drivers in off-road. Racing Broncos and Mustangs. So, how would you get yourself in a seat of an RTR? Well, we have multiple drivers, so I can tell you kind of what their process.
Yeah.
The key to motorsport these days, the game, is your audience. You know what I mean? There's a lot of very talented people in motorsport, but obviously only some of them get a ride or get the support needed to be out here doing it, unless they're have a rich uncle or, wealthy trust fund kids or whatever, right? Yeah. Or they work hard and spend their money on racing. But, I've dedicated my life to understanding the business of motorsport. And so what we look for is very marketable athletes that have the passion, the commitment. This isn't a job, this is a lifestyle. This is not a 9-to-5, show up at the racetrack, get in your race car. Like, racing is actually like 30% of what we do. So you have to have the willing person and personality to basically go for it all. They have to want it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, marketable. They got to be marketable. They have to have the audience, have a good social media, all that type of stuff, and there's no shortcuts to that. Like, you have to grow that, and you have to be likable and be interesting, and so that's really not necessarily my choosing, but that's the market in this moment.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
You have to support the market.
Yeah.
And that really is the core. I think it goes without saying that you have to have talent behind the wheel.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but those are the core things that we look for, and then it's of course timing. I get people all the time that want to drive for us, but it's like, if we're not, it's not like a constant open door. There's only so much opportunity. So for us, it's timing, if we're speaking specifically about the RTR drift team or off-road team.
That's a great way to describe it, because we've built our YouTube channel to where it's at now, and you don't get there without a lot of hard work. And I can tell you put in a ton of work, and it really shows. These cars are exceptional, and I get excited personally when I see them hit the skid pad or the track, or they do the full track drift like they did last year. It was exceptional to see. One other question I was thinking of is, what's your favorite or personal oh shit moment? Like, you're like, you were right there and you really weren't sure if it was what way it was gonna go.
There's been quite a few of those. I've been racing off-road, so that whole races of off-road are plenty of those moments. There's been quite a few moments in drifting. I don't have just one, but I would say the longest duration oh shit moment that I've had would be drifting the entire Nürburgring.
And that is, if you haven't seen that, folks, definitely check it out. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah, Drift King of the Ring, it's called. Yeah.
One other final question. We know this is in your garage, so to speak, but what's your daily driver? Like, what do you drive day to day?
Yeah, so I'm kind of embarrassed. I've accrued quite a few vehicles in my over 20 years of doing this, but I switch between Bronco Raptor, Mustang RTR, and believe it or not, people are probably gonna be like, what? But Mach-E GT.
Okay.
I absolutely love it, and my Lightning.
The Lightning.
So
okay.
And that's the electric Lightning. So I was a naysayer on electric vehicles like many people early on, but the driving experience of the Mach-E GT is just so fun.
We'll edit this part out, folks.
There's something about like the low center of gravity, the acceleration, and like the amount of grip that they have.
Yeah.
It's a really good time, and I also enjoy, when I get home from trips or red eyes, it drives me home pretty much. So really, I come from technology background, so I'm respecting that part of it.
Absolutely.
But I'm never selling my internal combustion engine. So.
And we have the same thought process, because we do like EVs in the sense that they are very, very technologically advanced. They're very cool, but we need internal combustion. We need diesel trucks getting us down the road to bring us our goods and our products, and we need internal combustion to go out and have fun, folks. This is plain, simple, fun-having devices, and we need more of them day to day.
True story. Well, and but we'll always have the option. I don't think it's ever going to be a either or, but like I've kind of come to the realization that like if you're a two-car family,
yeah, there's
like very little reason not to have an electric vehicle in the fold. If you're doing less than 200, 250 miles a day, I come home, plug it in, and it's just it's a good balance, I feel.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it, and I'm not in the political part of it at all. I judge it from a fun, practical mindset, because I'm very unpractical with many things. So it's like life, it's about balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, man.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Folks, if you like classic cars, if you like muscle cars, if you like RTR, if you like having fun, Fresh Vintage is your channel. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.